Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents The Titan's Gift, Season 2, Episode 30. I'm your demon host, Marty, joined by the Seattle crew, Max, Luke, Neil, and Matt. How is everyone doing tonight? Let me get your mics into a warmer position. They are now toasty.
Howdy.
Like chestnuts roasting on open fire. All right.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Doing well. We got a puppy this weekend, so it's nice to have a couple of hours and make my wife deal with a puppy. So I'm looking forward to tonight.
Nice.
Puppy
Congrats.
watch. Nice. We saw her earlier. She's very cute.
Yeah, she might make an appearance on the stream.
Okay.
Debutante for today, later in the match.
Things are going pretty good over here. Excited about vacation next week, taking some time off. Real exciting. I finally got frustrated not being able to find a good chicken wing on the West Coast and just made them myself last night, and they were quite delicious.
What goes into a proper chicken wing?
Did a little bit of like flour on it with a little bit of a dry rub, then deep fry them. I think the problem is around here they don't crisp them up enough to my liking, so you got to make sure you deep fry them a bit, and then make sure you have some kind of sugar in your sauce so that the sauce sort of caramelizes. Sometimes you get real runny sauce that just doesn't cut it, and then finish it a little bit in the convection oven. Get that caramelized goodness going on it. Oh, it was so good. It was so good, guys.
Nice.
Sounds delicious.
Does sound good. Okay, dogs, chicken wings. Matt?
Yeah, I took a couple days off and decided to play around with the new fire pit in the last couple days here before Jen starts meetings related to school starting back up again. She's a teacher, so
Got it.
Out here, school starts up maybe late next week. I'm not totally sure.
I'm guessing there's a lot of planning that's going to go into a year like this year, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We got a bit better home office set up upstairs. I've got a better wireless router. Switched over to mesh router to get good internet upstairs, so she can Zoom and all that jazz.
Cool.
But yeah, yesterday we just cooked sausages over a fire pit in the backyard. It was kind of awesome. I think we'll do something like that again tomorrow.
Nice. Fire. Exactly. Neil, what's going on with you, man?
Labor Day, man, it's coming up.
You're excited about a holiday that's happening 1-2 weeks less a day from now. You're at that point.
You're really excited.
You're at that point in your work cycle, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, oh god.
Well, I think at this point I'm the only one in the house who knows what day of the week it is.
I know when Tuesday is. Does that count?
Yeah.
Right.
Tuesday kind of snuck up on me a little bit today. I was like, "Oh yeah, game tonight." I was that way because I did lots of prep 2 weeks ago, so I'm good
For the content you actually expected us to run last week.
Yeah, which might go a game and a half, maybe even two. Who knows? Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's good prep, right?
Yep. Lots of gaming on my end. We are doing the end of season 1 of Grimstone Chronicles, which ends up basically a Gangs of New York style fight, as the gangs in Southwall District have had enough with the upstart PCs and their pathetic attempts at setting up a gang. And all the gangs have ganged together and are attacking the home base of the PCs right now. It's actually going pretty well. And then the side campaign to that one's called Master of Puppets, and we're racing to try to catch them up XP wise. And Mark's been doing a little bit of DMing, which is a lot of fun to be a player. So yeah, same campaign world, same actual like kind of like part of the city, but there's parallel stories going on. So we're trying to catch them up so that they can be involved in this final big gang fight, which is a lot of fun.
That sounds cool.
Yep.
Yeah. That'd be fun to play with Marty as a PC, not as a DM.
They gave me 5 characters to control.
That sounds like DMing.
Because if you just give me one, I'm going to either be bored or I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I've got 5 characters in that one.
Holy shit.
It's just enough. I could deal with maybe just 3. 5 is a little bit of a stretch, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Keeps me busy. It's keeping me sane.
Nice.
And then TV wise, I am on the last episode of the last season of Alone.
Is that the one where they just chuck people in the bush?
Chuck people in the bush with 10 items and see how long they can last.
Yeah. How long are they out there for at this point?
The last season they changed the format a little bit. They basically said if you make it to 100 days in the Arctic, starting in September, so they ended around New Year's.
Yeah.
Wow.
And 1 out of 10 people on that season made it to 100 days.
How squirrely are these people going after 100 days alone?
Oh, they're going nuts. They're going nuts. And a few times you're like, 15 days, man. I've gone with, 3 weeks with COVID without talking to anybody. But, lack of calories and, dangerous animals and that sort of thing. It's the type of show that, Luke, if you should watch it because I think you might... hopefully not inspire you to go do something stupid like that. But
that's a cool show. I'm a big fan of the sort of precursor to that is Man vs. Wild with Les Stroud, where it's just like a documentary about him doing that, and he films it all, and they sort of adapted that for this competition, as I understand it.
100 days in the wilderness is pretty fucking badass. Like these people are coming out there like malnourished and just on their last rope. One guy won by just being fat in the Mongolian wilderness. One season, it was just like he never seemed to be catching anything, like living off insects and mice and that sort of thing. But basically, he like the before and after was, yep, he bulked up really good beforehand and just miserably skated just one day longer than the other participant that dropped out, and he got through it by being fat.
But that's some serious mental strength for him.
Oh yeah, these people they do go a little nuts, and then the shit that they have to do to feed themselves with basic tools is amazing. So
yeah, cool.
I have a new appreciation for the survival skill in this game. If you want to bring it back to,
I'm excited to hear some survival descriptors now that you've seen the show.
Right. You can eat almost anything, which is okay. All right. You can eat almost anything.
Yes.
Sorry, you didn't give me, but I'm laughing.
All right. Why don't we do a recap what happened last game? Game log. Yep. It's called It's Close to Midnight. Zephyros finishes the portable hedge in the form of a cold iron chain net. Thurgus dreams of a rushing river of blood and gulps some of it down. From his dreams, he manifests a quasi-real bear made from the blood and goo that haunts him upon awaking. His name is Christopher, or its name. Bouquerbec falls ill and stays at the Iron Pine residence to rest while the rest of the party visits Maison Chalmers, the family manor of the professor. The party breaks into the manor, discovering that it regenerates... English. Only English. The party breaks into the manor, discovers its regenerating powers, and explores 4 floors. Thurgus tracks some strange visitors to the manor. The party meets the spirit of the professor's very strict grandmother, who still plays the harpsichord. The party finds a secret library containing a cache of fiendish and necromantic books. They also discover a secret door in the attic, which can only be opened with blood after dark. Retreating to the professor's childhood bedroom, Zephyros conjures a rope trick in which the party hides, awaiting for nightfall. Apparently, I was very tired when I typed that up. All right, that looks like English now. Okay, good. Yeah, I think you weren't just waiting for nightfall. You were waiting for, like, late nightfall, like midnight?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to force you guys to the map where we are.
When the sun sets, I'd like to cast my hours for level buffs, if that's all right.
Sure. You can approximate the sun setting and you begin to cast your spells. Yeah, how do you guys spend your time up in the rope trick? This little white box is the rope trick. The smaller white box is the actual porthole down into the child's bedroom.
I'll probably spend it reading through some of the books that we found in the secret study.
Okay. What theme of book are you just looking at them at random, or are you reading one book cover to cover, or are you just perusing through?
Perusing through what's there, kind of letting my curiosity wander. I know it covers fiend summoning rituals, necromantic rituals, and strange wizardry rituals. So I'm probably just curious. I've probably never seen these before, and they're probably really rare quality books.
Give me a D3.
3.
Okay. Give me a knowledge planes.
Knowledge planes should be plus 17. 34.
Okay. You find a book that seems to be, while not precise the way an encyclopedia is, it does over its descriptions and mad ramblings describe a race of evil outsiders. They're called Demodans. And the reason why they stuck out to you is that you're pretty sure part of this book describes the thing that you fought on the train.
Mm-hmm. And if I recall correctly, those 3 statues we picked up are the 3 Demodans.
That's right. We got statues of some sort.
From
Where are those from?
really fancy. When we went and hung out at the artist house,
Oh yeah.
We sold a bunch of magical pixie dust grindings to this guy to replenish his coffers, and he traded us for like a 20k gold statue set. I've got him here somewhere.
Interesting.
The book's title is called the Jailer Race of Gehreleth, and that's what threw you for a little bit of a loop, because Gehreleth seems to be a different name for the same race of evil outsiders. Demodan, you realize, equals Gehreleth.
Do I know, like, in what language or context one would be used other than the other?
This particular book was penned by a nameless author, an anonymous author that apparently was his life he was a dark summoner and ended up summoning over the course of his life one of each of the 6 types of Gehrles. Like, he has encountered personally these creatures. The more simplistic names for the 6 different types are tarry, stringy, squamish, slimy, shaggy, and gristly.
Tarry, stringy,
Delicious.
squamous.
This is definitely not what the race calls themselves, but his more like descriptions of what they are.
Gristly, shaggy, slimy, squamous, stringy, tarry. Got it.
The picture of the Tari Demodand looks very much like the creature that you battled on the Cactus Express.
Do I see the 3 toads? The small one. I have their names. Farastu. It looks like the large one, Ashator, is of the shaggy variety. Do I recognize the small one or the medium one from the statues we have?
You've got some statues on your character sheet? Give me a second.
Yeah, they're back in the manor at this point. Oh yeah, Geralt.
Yeah, Farastu is actually the name for a Tari Demodand. It's the
Okay.
proper name for it.
And Akelubar.
Sorry?
The medium one I have is Akelubar, is the name I wrote down for him.
Oh, that might be his actual name? Give me a second. I need to look where
It's
you made your notes. I'm not seeing Farastu on your...
yeah, some of the like detail stuff I just have written in my notebook.
You're going to have to type it out then. I don't know what you're making reference to.
Okay, so I find the Demodan book.
This book more like catalogs his experiences with them and the different types of Demodans. It really doesn't go into details about what their names were, like the actual names of the creatures. It does not. It only indirectly refers to how he summoned them.
Mm-hmm.
You suspect by reading them that some of them might have been more encounters than less him summoning them, like him tracking them down. Whereas others he may have actually summoned in maybe uncontrolled ways.
That's the best way to summon demons and their ilk.
The most powerful of the group, where they're all pretty powerful, is the squamous Demodand.
Interesting. Squamous cells.
Yeah.
They are monstrous creations.
Yeah, they're as I understood it before, they're the jailers of, I guess, the Titans. I don't know if I know that for sure, though. They hate the gods. I think they do serve the Titans. Resistant to divine spells, immune to acid and poison, at least on the shaggy one.
Yep, they really hate the gods.
Yeah, so there seem. I think we may have even found some more out about the Demodans at one point. They are like the jailers of the Titans. Where's that drawing of that guy's head?
Okay, so the professor is engrossed in one of the books that he plucked out of many that you absconded with from the hidden library in his grandfather's study. What are the rest of you doing while you're waiting for darkness to fall?
I'm gonna
I'd
poke
like to-
Christopher. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'm gonna poke Christopher like he's the Pillsbury Doughboy, like occasionally, and just get him to go like, and then like as the time passes, I'll eventually get bored of that and start asking him questions. I want to know like, where he comes from and any information they give me, and eventually I want to kind of set up this mentorish relationship of the things that he can kind of potentially teach me and help me learn about.
Where do you think I come from? I came from inside you.
Yeah, well, that's very disturbing. But like, what made that happen?
Water? Blood.
Got it. So like, messing with a lot of deities. Okay.
I don't know.
We should go meet some more of those.
You're the one that was on the river and drank me.
Yeah, well, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Now I'm not so sure.
Oh.
I'll just like pat him on the head.
Okay. He looks up at you. We need to get out of here.
Oh, we gotta wait for it to get like creepy as fuck, and then we'll fight our way out.
Oh. Okay.
When you put it that way.
I mean, that's the plan for today. We've already looted the place, right? So, yeah, that's it. Like, I'm gonna. I did learn a little bit about armor smithing, so my intent long term is for him to kind of help me with maybe some smithing activities. So I might like show him my buckler and kind of take it off and kind of have him poke and prod it. We might talk about how we might make it a little bit better.
He seems to know a subset of the things that you know. And when you ask about where he came from, it's like he had the same experience as you. He was in a rushing river of blood and water, and you drank him, and then you spat him out, and he was here.
It's pretty straightforward.
Every once in a while, he does. You're not sure if he means the rope trick. He's said this about half a dozen times already. Like, he wants to get out of here. We need to get out of here. It's almost like he's claustrophobic, or he misses the river of blood and water and has this general sense of needing to escape.
You want to leave like this extra plane of space or this creepy as fuck house?
Yeah.
Which one?
Doesn't matter. Both. Either. Or. Gotta get out of here.
Oh, right, okay. Well, we're going to do that. We're definitely going to do that at some point in the future.
We can't stay here. It's not safe. Huh?
Safe is not exactly the type of job that I am prescribed to do.
Okay.
There's a lot of not safe things.
Yeah. Yeah, you know how to make blood. That's good. You can
That's
add to the
one way
river.
of putting it.
You can add to the river.
And he'll just muse on that.
You know you're using your blood wrong, huh?
What do you mean?
Oh. You're really hard on the outside.
He'll like look at himself.
But all your blood and water's on the inside. Don't worry. I'll help you make your outside.
Well, I kind of prefer it that way, to be honest.
I'll help you move your outside around.
That sounds horrifying. Maybe let's table that conversation.
Just like I helped you make you smell better.
Oh, is that how that worked?
Yep. I moved your nose around.
Horrifying, but mildly useful.
I meant to be familiar with her nose because I came out through it.
Again, you continue to horrify me on a deeply personal level.
I could go back in there and see what else we could change.
Please don't. Let's just keep talking.
Okay. Is it time to get out yet?
Nope.
All right, so there's a really one-way conversation that Thurgus has in the corner with his quasi-real thing. Some of you have seen it, or proof of it. Zephyros, Fareosae, how are you guys spending time while you guys are waiting for, I don't know, 4 hours or so?
I am planning to have my familiar learn from and teach to the stone familiar.
Ah, cool.
So I start building up that set of spells and pulling some of them into my repertoire.
Did you read how that thing worked? Because I don't have that stuff in my brain.
I figure the way it works is that it's treated as familiar to familiar spell learning.
Yep.
So that's 1 hour per spell level.
Makes sense.
Of the familiars spending time together. And if the familiar learns a spell, there's a DC 15 plus spell level spellcraft check where it fails to learn it.
Okay, and the familiar has to roll it, or is it your spellcraft check?
That's kind of an interesting one. I would assume that it's my spellcraft check, but
worth checking.
I'll look that up.
And okay, given that there is an hour per level thing that we need to wait for, so how much time is probably the next question. What time was it when you guys climbed into this thing? I think it was only 3 or 4 in the afternoon, right? If you're gonna wait till midnight, you guys have 8 hours of stuff. So mark down that you've got 8 hours of transfer between the stone familiar and Pixel.
Sounds good.
Cool.
I figure if it's teaching a spell to the stone familiar, that's got to be 100%. But if it's learning one from it, maybe there's a role there. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah, I think you can dump the things you already know. That makes sense.
For storage.
To learn the things that you don't probably requires a roll, and
makes sense.
Okay.
There's not downtime here where I'm gonna rememorize spells, so we can deal with the details on that later.
Okay.
I'm also curious about those books. Specifically, I remember Grandma saying something about a failed attempt to become what her husband had become.
Yep.
And I'm curious because I remember something also about books having notes about, oh, that's wrong, that's all wrong.
Yeah, sure. So you're gonna pick through these books that talk about failures. Sure.
Yes. Yeah, I would like to find sort of what she did and see if I can get any insight into her present condition.
Do you want to roll knowledge arcana or knowledge religion?
Let's do knowledge religion.
Okay.
And can I do my once per day take 20 on a knowledge check?
Sure.
Will Bard acknowledge this son of a gun? And show up with. Let me just do a quick. Make sure we don't have any heroisms or anything running. No, good. So knowledge religion is going to be okay. That's a 37.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe she doesn't know why she failed, but maybe her husband does. Maybe there's something like that written down, or at least maybe I can figure out what she tried to do and what might have been able to go wrong. I figure I can either taunt her with her own failure If that's all we can do, or give her something to ponder to keep her busy, something along those lines.
I like it.
Best case, put her to rest by solving whatever mystery it is that keeps her stuck here.
Oh,
But
interesting.
like I'm gonna guess that she's in this form because she failed to get to the form she was going for.
You do find an interesting
Finish the lich ritual, and she'd be a lich, and ghost problem solved, right?
uh,
Easy.
I feel like that's not how we want to put her to rest.
you find a strange book entitled 101 Ways to Die and Remove Your Soul from the Planner Cycle.
Nice.
It's a book that really, a lot of the ways to die involve becoming undead, which ruins your soul and casts your soul into oblivion.
Sounds really angsty. Like suicide for the ultra hardcore.
It's missing a lot of the why you would want to do this.
Would you take for granted that that's a?
But it does have this almost like philosophical bent, like you are denying the gods, and only the like. It's almost like it's a good thing. It's almost like you missed 3 books about the philosophy, and then like this is like a how-to guide.
All right.
Got the theoretical application.
That kind of makes sense. The Titans hate the gods. The Thanatonic Titans hate the gods, and these guys are sort of associated with them. So, yeah, it feels like they'd be interested in that.
You do find like someone wrote in 102, and it was almost like a joke. It was like to fail at lichdom.
All right.
You do find like somebody journaled together different accounts of wizards trying to reach the pinnacle of necromantic art to become a creature that few creatures are more feared than that of this, being a lich. The lich being a way to achieve immortality, whereas other forms of undead have too many drawbacks.
Sure.
The lich shedding of your mortal essence to become a lich, while abhorrent to most creatures, to those that seek to also shed their humanity as well, as they may see it as an anchor to achieving dizzying heights of power. This would be the process. Unfortunately, the quest to become a lich is a lengthy one. It involves the construction of a magical phylactery that will contain the spellcaster's soul. It is a critical component of a prospective lich, and they must learn the secrets of transferring their souls to such receptacles and prepare their body for the transformation into undeath, neither of which are simple tasks. Complicating this even further is that the ritual is very personal. No 2 bodies or souls are exactly alike, and the ritual that works for one caster might simply kill another or drive them insane. The exact methods for each spellcaster's transformation are basically the study of many wizards.
Yeah.
It's difficult to experiment upon a thing that cannot be replaced easily. Your own body, your own soul, and your own sanity. And wizards tend to spend fortunes in this process.
Yeah.
Seek out things of death and perform monumental feats over the course of months, years, or even decades. the book doesn't, or at least the notes don't tell you too much more, but it then goes into a bunch of anti-patterns.
There you go.
Like
Yeah.
traps that you commonly fall into. One anti-pattern might be exactly like, don't copy what the other lich did. There's a story in here about doing so. They became a lich, but they became a lich under the control of the lich that first created that personal ritual.
Okay.
There are perhaps even ghastly forms of quasi-liches out there that have only partially succeeded, and they become raving undead monsters, while others simply see the first book, 101 Ways to Die and Remove Your Soul from the Planar Cycle, have consigned themselves to oblivion. This process is an affront to the gods, where the gods expect you, invite
Sure.
you, demand that you go to their places in the heavens and hells in the afterlife. Was there something specific you were looking for? Because you seemed to find the topic that you were looking for.
Yeah, I'm looking for information about the ritual that Grandma may have used. Any notes about what she did?
Okay. Give me a knowledge arcana for her.
Sounds good.
You also found that there are more than a few books here, so you're kind of flipping through them.
Oh yeah. 17.
Okay. You do find a curious book that looks like, and the professor's able to confirm that it's a book that was actually penned by the professor's grandmother.
Esther Tenebrin.
Her name is Esther Tenebrin, and she was into herbology, alchemy, and ultimately the book is basically a catalog of poisonous plants and how to make poisons.
Okay.
There is a chapter that looks like it's very dirty and that it's been referred to often. And it appears that she was experimenting with a type of potion or poison called lich dust.
Oh, that's a good poison. It's an effective poison.
It's an ingested poison. It drains your strength, or damages your strength. It takes a while to onset. But she seemed to be convinced, and she was trying to probably fortify lich dust. And she seemed to...
That's a good point. Yeah, that one's not... It's not a super poison.
She seemed to believe that she could do something with this if she found lich dust that already had a familial connection.
Oh, okay.
You get the sinking feeling that she may have started the process of creating some very vile liquid that she would drink, using lich dust as the base.
Okay.
Protein shake.
All right.
The exact formula of this just seemed to stop there. This is her, how do you create lich dust? or how do you fortify Lich Dust. It doesn't go into what she did with this, but there are some notes and margins and that suggests she was working on some sort of very vile poison or potion.
Yeah.
She killed herself by dropping her strength to 0.
Ghost form achieved.
At one point, it looked like she was running low on supplies of the substance.
Don't drink anything strange that you see sitting out here.
Of the loot that we got, we identified all of it, right?
I did put down the bundle of necromancy scrolls. Maybe that's something that Zephyrus can do. Zephyrus, what are you doing?
So first off, Zephyrus isn't terribly excited about fighting ghosts or dealing with ghosts.
Yep.
He's not exactly afraid of it, but it's not at the top of the list of things that he wants to do. He likes fighting things that he can hit, that he can touch, and that he can push and shove around.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of has this stuff. Bomba Dumba Dumpa doesn't have a hand for ghosts. You can't trade with him. You can't deal with him. You can't. So he is going through his bags and he's organizing his stuff and he's making sure that he has his wands ready and he's ready to cast the spell to put his staff into his sword using spell sword, things like that. He's just generally prepping, making sure because he doesn't want to let the team down.
Okay, give me a knowledge religion.
Yeah, sure. Knowledge religion coming up.
While we're talking about loot, I still see the Plague Doctor mask.
Yeah, give me a second. So Zephyrus knows that when you encounter the ghost and saw her, you identify what she was. Indeed, she was a ghost. Ghosts do have a number of fear-like powers. Unfortunately, they're very individual. You know that when a ghost touches you, it will have some sort of aging effect, like it will actually damage you by aging your skin and your life force, not in a good way. You know that fighting incorporeal creatures, any damaging effect from the corporeal plane, which is where all of you are, will be at half damage, except for force effects. Force effects are really... force effects and positive energy are the two ways to harm them quite effectively. So you sit in quiet meditation and are kind of getting your gear together and you're thinking about ghosts. You had a question about gear, Max?
Yeah, it was more of a question for the party. So the Plague Doctor's mask is on there. The primary was the Ring of Mind Shielding effect. I feel like someone should wear that tonight.
I'm certainly willing to wear it, especially if we can put the lenses, if we can fit it with lenses. Was that a thing that we could do to it?
Lenses are eye slot. So if it's a mask or a head slot, it should stack.
Yeah, this is a head slot.
Oh, that's a fair point. Yeah. I'm also fine with anybody else wearing it, of course, but yeah, I agree. It ought to be worn.
Do you have like a suppress charms and compulsions or like a remove fear, stuff like that? Like, do you have abilities that will save the rest of us if we get fucked?
No, not specifically.
I'm trying to think of I guess it's just detect thoughts, discern lies. Is anybody going to lie to these ghosts?
I'm not going to talk to them. I don't have anything to say here. This is not my kind of party.
All right. Well, I tend to smack a lot of undead, so I can make a lot of use out of the profane bonus versus diseases.
Yeah.
So I can use that, or if somebody wants to bank on being immune to detect thoughts, discern lies, and stuff like that, totally cool with putting it on someone who's bluff focused.
I've already got that with a ring of mind shielding.
I am a very good bluffer when I want to be.
Okay, how about I just wear it for tonight then?
Yeah, sounds
while I
good.
tank, and then I can hand it off to you later on if you want to keep it for Discern Lies or something.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, you guys flip through books and think about ghosts and have talks with your quasi-real invisible friends. Learned that the library did have the theme of lichdom as well as fiends. There may be some... Well, it's definitely a strange bunch of books to find in your grandfather's hidden library. You wonder what other books you might be able to find. Of course, gaining access to the library annex, the professor is pretty eager to do.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps a little frightened as well, because you know you left a book up there. A book of... your memory is jogged a little bit, being in your home. You do remember the title of the book. It is called The Book of Chthonic Visions.
C''th. Great.
Chthonic means concerning, belonging to, or inhabiting the underworld.
Okay. Not concerning, inhabiting, or belonging to Cthulhu.
Well, how much of Cthulhu is derived from the word chthonic?
Fair enough. It'd be
Yeah.
funny if it was spelled the other way.
Yes, I am eager to get down there and to find that book where I saw it in the dreams.
Okay. Another book you find, Fareosae, is called The Inverse Blessings of Orcus.
All right. All right.
Don't know if you guys want me to write these books down or
Yeah,
if you're writing them down.
yeah, I've been writing them down as you talk about it.
Okay.
Thurgus has negative int, so I don't take notes.
You don't need to.
My notes usually consist of killed that one guy and fuck those alchemists.
It's a good note. What was this book called?
The Inverse Blessings of Orcus. Orcus with a C.
Do we know what that one was about?
It seems to be some horrible version of a unholy tome or canon. Some sort of bloated demon named Orcus would grant you power in exchange for worship.
As one does.
It's particularly vile, and it screams of demon worship.
Marty, my staff grants Sephiroth's staff grants +1 caster level to evocation spells.
Yep.
Would that apply to spells cast out of a wand as well?
I believe we said. Give me a second. I forget how we ruled on this one.
We said yes for anything that I cast out of my spell book, but we haven't tried it on a wand yet. So the previous ruling, I believe, was generally if Zephyros casts and it's an evocation spell, it applies. But I'm not sure if it applies to the spell.
Yeah, the staff definitely, because staves are spell completion. Scrolls definitely their spell completion. Wands are spell trigger. You know what? It's fun. Sure, why not?
Okay.
You're fun, Barney.
Well, I can say no, and it's like, oh, okay, no, crappy wand.
Well, wands are already usually lowest level anyways.
Yeah.
So like, oh no.
And to be fair, in the Martyverse, he penalizes us in other ways, like crafting is twice as expensive. And there's good reason, right?
For ability score bonuses.
For ability score bonuses, yeah.
The reason for that is you already start off with really good ability scores.
Yeah, exactly. We're pretty cool.
You didn't roll 3d6 and go down the row, or
That's the
or a
worst.
point buy system where your highest stats of 14 or something like that. No. So it works out in your.
No, I'm not complaining. I
Yeah.
like the Martyverse.
Yeah.
I think the Martyverse is fair.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys easily spend 8 hours in this rope trick. You got a bunch of brainiacs, and then the non-brainiac is entertained by a couple of magic items and his invisible magical friend. Okay. You guys are estimating it is somewhere around midnight.
Well, shall we head down to the bottom floor, see if we can gain entrance to the library annex?
I'm not sure. I think I could rearrange these staffs 2 more times before we go.
Oh, they're perfect, Zephyros. Besides, your hand is big enough that you reach in there, you're bound to be able to grab something.
Yep, I'm ready. Let's go.
I don't want to grab something. That's the problem.
How long does your fabulous scarage last? Is it gone by this point?
We did it in the morning. I dismissed it before we came in.
Okay.
So yeah,
Kept it off the street.
yeah. And then the silent image of the professor was just sitting in it until I walked away and disappeared.
As soon as the professor says like maybe we should go, I just climb down.
Oh,
Okay.
well, no more time for rearranging. We must go. Besides, there's knowledge to be found.
Fine. Let's do this. I can't believe you grew up in this place. Answers a few questions, really.
All right. So who goes down first?
I think
Thurgus.
Thurgus went down first.
Okay. Thurgus, you hop down, and immediately there are a couple of things that you sense. First, there is a chiming, which seems to be like a clock chime that just echoes throughout the entire house. It's almost like the sound of the clock is in this room, but you don't see it in this room. It's like a creepy grandfather clock chiming. It is 13 bells.
Okay.
The second thing, do you still have scent or not?
Yeah. It's deferred to me. I basically have that until I rest.
Okay. You smell some very strong, like a musty sweat. Like a pungent creature sweat, like a body odor. Something had passed through this room, and took a quick look in the room and then left.
Okay. I'll clamber up the rope really quick.
Okay.
Oi! It's time to fucking go. Something was here. It was alive. It went through the kid's room. It's go time. And I'll climb back down.
Oh my.
Zephyrus will follow him back down.
Yeah, I'll be behind him as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go down as well. I'm going to cast a couple of spells, like 2 rounds of spells before I go down.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead and start casting spells.
Do any of us need to be up there for that? Because otherwise I'm going to miss it. Because I'm
No,
fucking going.
we're all just going to do it like the normal stuff.
Okay.
You cast some spells and start hopping down the rope trick before it disappears. It only lasts for 8 hours, so you waited the maximal amount of time. You feel a little bit vulnerable, as there's nowhere to run back to and hide. You can hear... well, first off, Professor, the tone that strikes you as you descend down the rope trick, that's your grandfather's clock. It is a grandfather clock, but it's your grandfather's clock. You did not see that clock, that piece of furniture inside the house when you guys had gone into every room that was accessible. But somehow it is chiming and it is ringing clarion clear. And while you always just thought it was grandfather's clock, there's, now that you have the perspective of 60 odd years, that clock is making noise like it's in this room, but you can't see it.
Grandfather's old clock. I don't see it anywhere in the house. It sounds like it's right in this room. Can I detect magic around me to see if I can... Well, I guess I don't... The clock seems magical if it's ringing throughout the whole house and in this room and I can't see it. I know the house gives off a fair amount of magic. And there's no origin of the sound. It's just sort of the whole room, right?
Yep.
I don't think... I guess I'd start detecting magic, but sort of feel like I'll probably stop because there's probably no clear way for me to point it at anything.
Okay. There's just Thurgus sniffing at the door.
Oh, well... I suppose we should make our way downstairs to find the annex entrance.
Yes, maybe we should. Professor, you would find this interesting. Remember that Jotun spoon we got before?
Oh, it's a cutie.
Hello.
Spoon, you say?
Yes, I used the lesser metamagic rod of extend for the first time today.
Ooh.
Yes, I had to cast mage armor on myself. Thought you would appreciate the new use of a new spell or a new trick that we have.
Ah, capital. Absolutely capital.
Zephyrus had to do it because his mage armor that he cast on himself 8 hours ago had worn out by now.
Yep.
So,
where's that clock thing coming from?
I wonder, perhaps in the Grand Hall. Generally, grandfather clocks are displayed in a place of prominence. A main room.
Where was it displayed when you were a child?
It was in the main hall where the stairs are.
Yes, then the stairs, close to where the annex entrance shall appear.
Oh, yes, we were looking at it when we came in, I remember.
We're using the key tonight, the one that we found, or we're busting down all the doors again.
I think the key, if possible.
Yes.
Right.
Shall we?
You guys hear the distant sound of something snarling. It sounds like it came from downstairs, like two things snarling at each other.
Do you think that we can get into this annex via the secret blood door as well? Or is that a separate place?
I believe that gains you entrance to an underground chamber beneath the estate. I do not know that the annex is connected. I've never been to the underground chamber.
All right. Your house professor will follow your lead. Or I will.
Well,
Unless you want me to open the doors, you can just hand me the key. Up to you.
I'll go.
It sounds like there will be things about wandering the house.
Oh, the professor's brave, and I pat him on the shoulder really hard. I'm sure he can tank loads of stuff. He's got lots of magic.
Brave, yes, of course, very brave. Be brave, Henry. I'll put the key in the lock, and I will
Okay.
open the door and use the door to shield me. If it
All
opens.
right. Immediately, Thurgus, you smell the smell of cooking. Somebody is roasting something protein-like. It smells like, well, some sort of roast, actually. And it's the smell is wafting up the stairs.
Smell like a lich powder roast, like a dry rub.
You don't know what lich powder smells like, but it actually smells really good. And the door to the top of the stairs is not how you left it. It is open.
Oh, something smells good, boys. Are we gonna go to that clearly not trapped thing downstairs?
It may be on the way. We've probably get a peek in the kitchen on the way to the annex.
Perhaps
Dibs.
even dinner and we can sneak by.
Oh, we're sneaking.
Closed.
Okay. You also notice that this door is open somewhat. It is ajar.
Do we want to close any of these doors behind us?
And Thurgus, you're getting the smell of like whatever came into the room briefly with that pungent smell also went this way. Although the overpowering smell of like, is it a ham? Oh, like your mouth is watering.
Okay, I'll relay that information to the group, and then just let me know if I need to make any like track checks or anything like that. I'd kind of like to look at the ground to see if I see any sort of like footprints, because previously we had seen like some muddy footprints or something like that. I thought.
Yep.
I'd like to see if any of those got like refreshed. If someone like if whoever was here recently actually left any footprints.
Sure. Give me a survival tracking.
Okay. So tracking
and
survival.
Christopher, the little bear made of your blood and water, is auto.
Is he auto aid?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
That's 24.
Quick question for the crew here.
32.
If we're going to go into the annex, should we go there quickly and invisibly?
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. The tracks are a little bit different. It is almost like it's the same tracks, but a different kind of mud, and the different kind of mud is very subtle. It's like they were in a very wet place, like maybe even deep underground. And the tracks are stronger here than they are by the stairs.
Like potentially more recent.
As in, they
more traffic.
The mud wore off.
The mud wore off, and we're talking a tiny telltale's part of it. It's still the same tracks. These are the wrapped feet with clawed ends, and you now associate the wrapped feet with the clawed ends with the sour sweat smell. It's the same creatures. There are about 4 or 5 of them that have emerged recently from the room with the covered furniture where the ghost is.
And was it, refresh my memory, where was the balcony that we saw that was like looked like it had an opening to outside? Do we suspect that something is coming in from upstairs and making its way down?
The balcony is on a floor down.
Oh, okay.
some things have emerged from this door and probably gone down the stairs, is what you're guessing.
Understood.
I think
But some of them have tracked back and forth for some reason. Not all of them, but some of them.
seems that
One of them was dragging something. It looked like there was a bag that it was dragging.
someone has emerged from the subterranean catacombs and is trapped in a bit of mud.
Yeah, it sort of seems like that, and I'll kind of relay the information that I've gotten so far. So which way you want to go first? Weird muddy footprints from the room, or delicious smelling food we should totally go to first downstairs?
I think Fareosae has a good point. What about invisibly going to the annex quickly and skipping all of this?
Yeah, I'm up for it if you are. Shall we?
I'm not very stealthy.
I can make myself invisible.
You can bring up the rear. I can make you invisible.
Sweet. That sounds awesome.
They'll hear something, but it will be too late because you will have just barely made it through the door.
Okay, Pixels, do you want me to go have a peek?
Yes, I think that would be excellent.
Okay.
Be very, very careful.
Pixel takes a peek. Give me a perception check for Pixel.
Yes. Perception for Pixel. Got it.
I'll kind of nudge Christopher with my foot. Go make sure she doesn't die.
22.
Okay, she comes flying back. There's something in a bird cage. It wasn't there before.
A bird cage.
Yeah,
In the hall.
In the corner. And the rocking chair is still moving.
Right. What's in the bird cage, Professor?
Oh, bird cage? Let me think. Do I remember us ever having anything in there, or there ever being a bird in the house?
At one point, your family did keep birds, but they always died. Your grandmother, I think, Evendale, welcome with your party of 25, crazy. Welcome to the channel. We are exploring the professor's basically haunted house. They decided to rope trick their way in the attic of the house and wait until midnight to fully explore. Welcome to the channel. Let us know if you have any questions.
To the raid. Yasha.
Oh, he's so cute. Amanda, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
She wants my quesadilla.
Pixel's going, there's something. The tiny moat familiar is speaking to Fareosae. There's something in the birdcage. It's stuffed in there. It's in a bag. I kind of thought I saw pixie dust, she says in a confused way.
I think we need to free something that's in that cage. I think it's new.
Yeah, but the rocking chair is rocking. The old lady's still in it.
It's either a fae or something that fae have brought.
It's a distraction. We should really be going downstairs to the annex.
We should listen to Zephyros because Zephyros is smart, says Makarnam Gobbler, who is currently looks like a doctor's bag. Yes, it is a mimic that is also a bag of holding, and he rides on Zephyros' shoulder. And if you hear me doing the Muppet voice, that is the bag of holding mimic.
And he keeps stuff for us.
And he keeps stuff. He could also eat. Yes, exactly.
Well, he doesn't have to eat anything. He can choose to eat things to keep. Eat things to eat.
Zephyros is smart. Maybe we should listen to him. Although, if there's a fairy that needs to be saved, maybe we should listen to Fareosae.
Which side are you on here?
I'm very confused, and I want to kill something. I've been waiting all day.
Okay.
Let me just take a quick look.
While your party is paralyzed by indecision, you hear a chime, and again, this chime comes from way downstairs. It was normal when you were a kid, but now that you're a 60-some-year-old man, you're realizing that the physics of that chime should not resonate throughout the house like it's doing. The dinner bell is being chimed.
Dinner is on.
Okay, let's go downstairs.
Be quick if you're taking a look. The attic's full of treasures. We can't be distracted there.
There is a groan from some of the furniture in the storage room as it sounds like there's a bit of a mist that spills out. It is starting to get very cold where you're standing. Something is coming this way, and you've encountered her in the previous day or went earlier in the day. The dinner bell is summoning your grandmother's spirit. She might be going downstairs for dinner.
I've cast invisibility on myself with intent to go look at the birdcage. I'm going to wait where Grandma asked us to wait in the kid's bedroom.
I'm actually scared of Grandma.
All right, so there is a vague ghostly shape that is... Are you closing the door, or are you keeping it open to watch?
I would like to close the door.
Okay, Fareosae closes the door. Pixel's like helping, even though she's a little like that tall. She closes the door. There is like underneath the crack of the door, it's like a little bit of frost builds up and then kind of recedes, as you could hear the clicking of the staff. You know, the little rod that she carried, that she was kind of going to thwap you over the buttocks or the hands if you were bad. She's using it as she walks on by. Even the floor creaks a little bit, like your house is old, and thus passes the spirit of Esther Tenebrin downstairs to go to dinner.
I would like to sneak out and go and take a look at the birdcage.
All right, Pixel opens the door, and Fareosae and Pixel open the door, and they go flying in to go check out the birdcage. Yeah, somebody roughly moved the blanket with all the dust on it, and you do see that there's something kind of jammed in there that is over top, like it has a burlap sack. The burlap sack is really dirty. You can actually see some smudgy handprints, like they look like really big handprints with like claw marks on it. And they didn't quite fit in whatever they stuffed in there. There's something inside of a bag that looks rigid, that is stuffed into a beautiful birdcage. It's the type you could have like a bunch of budgies in.
I've got a very nice scalpel. I'm gonna slice the bag down the side, just the bag itself, and see what's see what's inside. Okay,
there is a very, very painted pixie. You are a fairy, and you've got ranks in knowledge nature. You recognize the pixie. Yeah. The pixie is dressed up like a clown. At first, you thought it might be a statue of a pixie. Do you have heal or knowledge arcana, something like that?
Knowledge arcana, yeah. I got plenty of knowledge arcana.
That's right. Get this started with the creepy clown in the attic.
I do not believe I've got much in the way of heal.
A spellcraft would also suffice.
Here's a knowledge arcana, 25.
This creature has been petrified.
Oh.
And some of its clothing is still jingling. At first you thought it was like a statue, maybe, that somebody dressed up like a clown. Nope, it is a petrified pixie that was stuffed into a bag, then stuffed into the birdcage.
How would I counter petrification? Petrification?
Yep. She is made out of a whitish alabaster stone, but it's too lifelike to be a statue.
That would require like a break enchantment or something along those lines.
And then Pixel's showing you the pixie dust. Like it's almost like it was done recently, stuffed in the bag, and you can see some pixie dust kind of spilled out around the birdcage.
Or stone to flesh.
Yeah.
See? Pixie dust.
Yes. Is that something that we could collect some of?
Sure.
I would like to sweep a little bit of that up. Maybe take a
You
piece
have
of parchment.
collected 2 doses of pixie dust.
We'll come back for this little fellow, but I don't think we can quite manage it right now. Do you? Yeah, I'll go back out.
Okay, a pixie is like 3 feet tall with wings.
Yeah. Let's see what the rest of the crew's up to.
Is she gone? I'll say, peeking from the door.
She's gone. They have a pixie that they've turned to stone in a cage.
No.
We should rescue it.
Yes.
I assume we're coming back up here.
Yes, we should explore the underground catacombs after the library, of course.
The library first, though?
Yes.
All right.
That is why we came here.
I can make Thurgus invisible.
Yes. Let's do it. Shall we?
Okay.
I'll say-
The door to the stairwell is ajar. It's like left open, and you can hear some like guttural sounds. At first, you thought it might have been like 2 animals kind of nipping at each other, but there might have been actual language to this.
Do I catch any words and recognize the language?
You can give me a linguistics check,
Alright.
because I do not think that you speak this language.
It's possible.
While he is doing that, Sephiros casts invisibility on himself, then uses spell recall to recall the invisibility spell, and then casts invisibility on Makarnath as well.
Thank you, Sephiros. You're a great wizard.
25?
It is undercommon.
Undercommon. I've never even heard of this one. Does that have another name?
It is the common tongue of subterranean creatures, and there is a pearl in the ether pearls, which are pocket dimensions interconnected. That is the campaign world. And let me DM stuff. There is a pearl that is mostly subterranean. Actually, there's a few of them. One of them is called Underhome. Undercommon might be a... pun intended, common language there.
Under.
Okay.
Okay. Underhome. It's in between Bostera Badlands and Cliffside. It's like southeast of Grand Station.
The creatures that were speaking it, though, sounded very... it was a very guttural and very deep tone.
Someone's speaking Undercommon down there. Yes, invisibility, right. I'll quick draw Bakam's wand, and I will cast invisibility silently.
Okay.
And I think we will begin our mosey.
All right. You descend to the...
I can see invis, so because I've cast it, so I'll follow the professor.
Yeah, I'll also cast... Oh, no, I already cast it. No, I can't.
All right, so you guys descend quite easily to the 3rd floor. The door that leads to the stairwell is open. It is not how you left it. You seem to be following the tracks of these creatures, Thurgus.
Okay.
In fact, there may be some that are just in maybe the main floor, just in that open room, because you can kind of hear them talking. Low grunting, kind of 2 floors down, but it's an open stairwell, so you can hear them from here.
Right. Well, what I think we should do is we should jump over this ledge and land on their faces and murder them. What do you guys think?
I think you're speaking too loudly. They might hear you.
I'll cast comprehend languages as quietly as possible and try and listen to what they're saying. I'll do it in that hallway before we get out into this where the sound could echo down.
I can sprinkle pixie dust on them.
Okay, you can hear their conversation. It's kind of like,
It smells good. Yeah, it does. I wonder if we're going to get any. The place setting is not for us, it's for the girls.
I will scribble some quick notes in a journal and show it to the party so I don't have to say it out loud of what these guys are saying.
Quiet.
2 floors down?
Too many questions. Master does not like questions. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Remember, keep watch. Intruders have been here. Yeah, I could still smell them.
I'll say they're the watch.
I'll take a folded piece of paper that I've gathered the pixie dust in out.
Yep.
And open it up and show it to the professor. Point at it and then point down.
Maybe we should go check on the horses. Those horses are ill-tempered. Yes, careful of their hooves. Very warm.
and you can hear them shuffling.
I'll scribble a note that they're going to check the horses and show it to the party.
You can hear doors opening, and maybe they're going outside.
I think they went outside. Shall we continue quietly?
Can we lock them outside?
Maybe. They may have a key.
Can we
Let's hurry.
barricade the door just to fuck with them?
Most certainly.
Grandmother Esther, so good for you to join us for dinner.
She's made it down. That's good. I will.
You hear
I
this
will
really
go down a level.
really thick accent. It is both old and like a really old accent. You can't quite place it. It might be cliffside.
As we are walking, Zephyros is holding the wand of magic missile in his trunk.
Okay.
Sephiroth is going out. All his guns gone.
Yeah, he's not trusting any of this. He's not trusting any of this. Like, he's expecting the shit to go down at some point.
How are you enjoying the antepasta, Christina Henrietta?
I'll probably stop in my tracks hearing that because those are my daughter's names, as I recall.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna go. I gotta go see if it's really them. I'm gonna.
Okay, so you start going down the stairwell.
Yeah.
Let's bring you down to floor 2 as the group begins to head down. The armored men are not there. Or the armored statues. They seem to have been taken or have left their posts. If you'll excuse me for a moment, it appears we have a few mice in the attic.
I'll write "they're coming" and scribble it on the page. Show it to the party. And then I think I may cast here.
Okay, from this vantage point, you could see kind of down into the main hall. Your grandfather's clock is in the hall. You're not too sure who's playing games by moving heavy furniture like that, but the heavy dark wood grandfather clock with fine clockwork components is just sitting ominously in the main hall. It was not there when you had searched the building earlier on. Gliding into the room, almost like he's not touching the ground, in a voluminous red felt robe. It delights my heart to see you here. A family reunion.
Is he looking right at?
Yeah, he's looking right at the professor.
Oh, do I recognize this guy?
Knowledge, nobility.
Like from old. He's Arc. Oh yeah, never mind. Archmenos is.
He's got very, very long fingernails. Like he's in some sort of competition to grow really long fingernails. like his hands are kind of like squiggly and long. His thumbnails are very pointed, but the rest of his fingernails are very long.
24.
You believe that this is Baron Ramoska Archmenos.
I will, I guess, step forward and say, if it isn't Baron Archmenos, as it were. I hope you don't mind me checking out my old room. Trip down memory lane in these.
I do not mind whatsoever. When I heard that your great house was on the market, I could not help myself from purchasing it to make sure that the continuance of its great sanctuary is, well, continues to be. And now I am blessed by the presence of Henry Sinclair Chalmers III. And he bows.
At this, I definitely straighten up at this one. Too kind. It is an honor to have the state in the hands of such a worthy benefactor.
Would you and your companions do me the greatest honor of joining me for dinner?
Oh, you wouldn't mind if we imposed upon you? We're quite famished.
It would not be a family reunion without it. We even saved for you your grandfather's seat.
Oh, well, now that is respect. Yes, I think we shall join you for dinner.
Can you not smell the beautiful roast that we have?
Oh, it smells capital. Yes, it is good to see life in these old halls again. I'll say as I start walking down the stairs.
Come, I am eager to talk to the scion of your grandfather. I am aware that you are a professor of sorts. I am very interested in your studies and research.
Yes, I would love to tell you of my musings. Quite interesting delvings these days. Always good to talk to another scholarly mind.
Your friends do not need to be bashful. We are all family here.
Nothing to worry about. I told you this was still a house of repute and chivalrous pursuits. Your hospitality is divine, sir.
It is your house. It is the least I can do. And he's waving the party members down.
Oh, what is that smell?
Has he made eye contact with me? Is he line of sight for me?
It looks like Thurgus is. He can see Thurgus. He can't quite see Zephyros. Yeah, you guys are probably all sort of frozen yourselves, standing on the stairs.
That seems about right.
Yes.
Okay.
If your friends want to run around upstairs like frightened little mice, it is okay with me.
Oh, yes,
we're not mice.
There is one now.
A bit bashful.
I will hand the envelope of pixie dust to Pixel. and ask her to find, let's say, find a jar of cream
Okay.
and pour it all in, if she can. Like a jar of skin cream and pour it all in.
It appears that you have brought your own bodyguard.
And then I'm sure I've been seen, so
You can wait
I'm in.
out here in the foyer, or perhaps go and await for us learned nobles.
Thurgus, though he may not seem like much of a scholar, is in fact a dignitary from a foreign nation. I think his musings on international relations will be quite stimulating to conversation.
Who am I to argue with the scion of the Chalmers clan?
That's so kind. Just a moment, let me fancy up a bit. I'll cast glamour on myself.
And who might this beautiful little lady be?
Fareosae. I represent Autumn.
It is not the first fairy we have seen tonight.
Perhaps not the last.
Fareosae is an accomplished artist and has no parallel that I've seen.
There is a beautiful ballroom, a conservatory upstairs. Would you like to distract yourself with musical instruments while the family has a little talk?
As long as the family does not mind, I would be happy to decamp to the conservatory.
Perhaps you could grace us with some music.
Oh, certainly I can.
He waves you off like you're a servant.
I'm fine with that. This seems super dangerous. I'm not a big fan of super dangerous. I'm going to play some piano, but actually I'll sit around and play some pipes.
Also sounds like there is a mice with a heavy step upon the stairs.
Yes. Zephyrus has come down the stairs. He's not going to split the party. He's going to stay very close to Fareosae.
You have brought more guards then.
I am not a guard. I am a tusker. My name is Zephyrus.
A tusker. I am a fan of adornments.
Really? It's good for you.
His eyes flash a little bit. You could give me a spellcraft check. Professor and Zephyrus.
Yeah, I'll throw one of those down.
He's got better eyes than we do.
Pretty shitty roll, 22.
He has 22. You didn't see him cast a spell, double spell level. He has multiple divination effects going on his eyes right now. And the 26, you know that not only is he seeing invisible things, but he's using arcane sight on all of you.
Nice.
And what grace do you bring to this gathering?
My presence. I am a majestic being. I am a religious being. I am with Fareosae.
Perhaps you could await this family business in the hunter's den.
And he waves his hand in the door.
There is plenty of cigars and brandy there for you.
Actually, I was thinking of going this way with my friends to the music room.
If the elephant man requires to be entertained with music, who am I to stop him?
Oh, that's a good question. Who are you?
Before I go, that scent you wear, most intriguing. May I inquire?
Yes.
I actually haven't smelled it. I'm curious if he's the guy with the heavy musk.
It is a scent that it is crafted by perfumists in my home village.
How delightful. You're a man of exquisite taste.
Flattery will get you only so far, musician. I eagerly await for the divine inspiration from the keys.
I will head upstairs. Pixel will wait a little bit and then start exploring around downstairs.
And Zephyros is going to be short on your tail.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Can I send Christopher with Fareosae?
Yep. Christopher takes a while to get up the stairs unless someone picks him up.
He'll try and hitch a ride, but if he doesn't,
I think I can see him, but I'm already up there. So
all right. So he kind of does this like a gummy bear, like a big ass gummy bear climbing the stairs. Exactly the way that you'd picture it.
He has a climb speed, so he would literally try and climb the railings and stuff. His climb speed is the same as his walking speed, so he'd probably try and climb up the wall.
Thurgus, was it?
Yes.
You may want to go into the hunter's room. I think you may enjoy some of the things there. They may remind you of your home.
I'm a foreign dignitary, and Professor here says that I'm supposed to go to dinner. So that smells delicious, thanks, but no thanks, I'll wait.
We wouldn't want to scare the little ladies that have already joined us for dinner.
Oh, then maybe I'll just wait in the doorway. We'll see. Maybe they're really brave little ladies. You never know.
Yes, they are brave, aren't they? Perhaps they get that from their father.
I'm quite known for my bravery, yes.
Yes. Professor, come with me, and I will personally pull out your grandfather's seat for you.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind. Thurgus, do try not to be too intimidating.
I will do my best to be a lovely little teddy bear.
All right, the door opens, and you can see that there are 3 ladies of various age and states of life sitting at the table in the dining room. The youngest is seated to the right of your grandfather's seat. It is your youngest daughter, Christina. To the left is your eldest daughter, Henrietta. And then sitting at the far end of the table is the ghost Esther Tenebrin, who seems to be just sitting there and staring angrily across the table. Your daughters strangely don't get up to greet you. In fact, they look really really intent on eating or finishing up the plates of some antipasta, some cheeses and meats that have been put out.
Hello again, Grandma.
I can appreciate that. There's something about good food. Yeah.
Yep. There is there are decanters of very, very red wine that are like a deep red wine that are on the table, and you can see that they are taking sips from their individual glasses. When you come in and say hello, Henrietta and Christina do glance up at you, but they don't seem to recognize you, Professor. Of course, you're also invisible, so...
Yeah. Nice to see you again, Grandmama. I see that we have company. Oh, Henrietta, Christina. It has been some time. How are you, girls? I trust your mother as well.
Henrietta sort of looks up. Did I hear something? Yes. Baron Ramoska is just gliding you over to your grandfather's seat. You notice that the fireplace kind of the flames kind of jump a little bit when he pulls up the chair.
Yeah, I will. I'll let him lead me.
Okay. He sits you down into the chair.
Oh, thank you.
Unfortunately, you have missed the first course, but allow me to... You do smell the musk that you were talking about, that they were talking about, and he reaches across the table and pours you some of this really, really red the wine.
Oh, thank you.
Please. His very strong hands are now clasping your shoulders. Drink.
I'll detect poison on it.
Okay. You think I would poison you?
Oh, surely not. But force of habit, you don't live to be as old as us without having a few tricks, as it were. Do not begrudge me or take offense.
I did not come here to poison Chalmers' clan.
I don't think he did.
You are very well respected in certain circles. Now drink.
Yes. I'm guessing I don't detect any poison on this.
There's no poison on it, no.
Well, before we drink, I would like to offer a toast, I'll say, as I raise the glass instead.
Okay, he will bow to that, and he glides behind Christina, and a kind of a clawed hand sort of goes across the back of her shoulders. She doesn't seem to really notice. She does whimper a little bit and struggle, but and the Baron goes over and finds his own glass. He basically puts his hand out, and a glass kind of goes across the table, and he picks it up with a dexterous hand, and he doesn't spill a drop. You can't see what's in his glass, but he raises a toast.
A toast to the hospitality of Baron Ramoska Arkminos. Without him, this family reunion would not have been possible. And to you, dear girls, both generations, young and old, it does these old bones to see you once again. To us, to all, to merriment.
Okay, you notice that Henrietta starts shaking her head a little bit. She goes, "Is that father's voice I hear?" You still haven't turned visible yet, have you?
No.
Okay.
I'm invisible, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, she seems to be, like, her head's kind of clouded, although all of their hands reach to drink, and they do begin to drink. The Baron also raises his glass, and he's watching the professor.
I will raise it, and I will drink it.
Okay. It is a very, very deep and dark red wine. It is also mixed with, give me a perception check.
Does it have to be perception?
Can I smell the wine?
Where's Thurgus? Thurgus is standing
I
outside.
literally stood at the entrance to the doorway because he didn't pull out a chair for me, and I just kind of stood around and was like, not sure if I should sit down.
The ghost lady is staring at you.
Yeah, like, I don't want to piss her off, so I kind of just, like, wait, and, like, maybe she'll tell me I can sit down, maybe not. I don't want to scare the girls. Professor told me to try and not look intimidating, so he just kind of froze in the doorway, and it's just awkward.
13.
Okay, Professor, there's something weird about the wine. It's a little bit thicker than you thought, and it has this strange coppery taste to it.
Peculiar vintage.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it is about 60 years old.
Ooh. Quite delicious.
Dinner is served. He glides over behind the... actually, he's just going to kind of orchestrate from here. There's a door that opens up, and there's this absolutely horrid creature dressed in an apron, holding on to a big silver platter. It's got shaggy hair, kind of pulled back into a hairnet. It's got, like, lizard tanned hides for clothing, but it does have like perhaps taken from this place, like a chef's apron on, and it comes wandering in. Its eyes, there's something wrong with its eyes, Thurgus. It's like it steps in and its eyes are completely like white, like it's got no pupil or no iris. But it does sniff at the air and actually like look in your direction, and then the Baron Ramoska just snaps his finger, and the creature just almost slavishly ignores you and puts this big tray down in the middle, and then he pulls it up, and there's all sorts of roast in a gravy. It's actually more of a roasted ham.
Oh, delicious.
It looks like some of the portions have already been cut, and the Baron actually begins to dole it out. Takes a big slice of meat with some utensils and places a bit on Christina's plate and places a bit on Henrietta's plate, and then places a little bit in front of Henry.
As he's serving, I'll inquire after the girls. Darlings, how have you been? Henrietta, Christina, I trust your studies go well.
Magic, says Christina, as she seems to, like, she's waiting almost like to attack the meat, and Henrietta, you know that Henrietta carries like a holy symbol, like a whole bunch of holy symbols of the old gods, like dozens and dozens of them. You notice that she wanted to like go and grab the series of holy symbols, but then stopped.
I see your fascination with the old gods continues. Any interesting new tidbits you've picked up?
She blinks really hard.
Yes, well, not very verbose this evening, girls.
You must excuse me. I have already partaken. But do dig in. And greedily, immediately, Christina and Henrietta, almost like it was a magical command, begin to devour the slice of bloody ham in front of them.
Can I make a knowledge religion check to potentially validate any suspicions I might have about this guy?
You could make a perception check versus his disguise.
Okay. 33.
Oh, that's really good.
I'm more concerned about the fact that he's drinking blood wine and not eating dinner. Trying to do my best and not sit here and medicate.
Well, yeah, the whiteness of his skin is actually like a paste that has been applied. Like he's put on some really, really heavy makeup. You don't like the way he moves, and while he was moving around, he moved way too quickly. And with a 33, you notice something peculiar. He only inhales in order to speak. Like he's not breathing most of the time.
Got it.
What are the rest of you doing? Fareosae, Sephiros, Christopher. So you guys go up into the upper hall. Oh, were you going to go into the conservatory? Sorry, I had it all.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'll start playing pipes.
Is there any conversation that's had between the group of you?
Sephiros is just pointing out that when they were walking through the house initially, he didn't want to go into the cigar room with all the animal, dead animals and stuffed animals and all sorts of things like that. He didn't want to go into that room. Yet this guy was telling him specifically to go to that room. And that sort of just ticked him off a little bit or rubbed him up the wrong way.
I think every room is exceedingly creepy, and these Archminos folks are problematic.
So when you're playing the pipes, give me a performance check.
Oh yeah, I can do that relatively well. Actually, that's something I don't do too often. Perform wind. There we go.
You gonna play something creepy or like weirdly happy?
Nat 20.
Nice.
Holy
38.
38.
Okay.
Wow.
Ah, what beautiful piping. Esther, it appears that you may have a rival.
And the ghost murders.
I'm not on the harpsichord.
the ghost is now looking in the direction of the conservatory.
Oh, you know this as well as I do, Baron, that art is not a competition, but a collaboration. Isn't that right, Grandmama?
It depends what kind of art.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of art, did you ever have a friend go to Racker's Alley to pick up some art?
Ooh.
Racker's Alley.
You know, Professor, remember that time that we went to Racker's Alley and that there was that art?
Oh, yes, the art. Yes,
And then we took that art and we drowned it in a river. Do you remember that?
I do, yes.
The Baron is just smiling at the professor.
Professor, you have not touched your meat. It is a specialty.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that time?
Professor, give me a will save.
There we go.
I want it noted that's my -1 bluff to pass a secret message.
Yeah, he glanced at you and he's just smiling. He's just smiling and waving his claws around. The will save DC is oh boy. This would be 17, 23. What spells do you have running?
It should just be invisibility, endure elements, comprehend languages, glamour. I guess there is a bunch going right now.
Okay, he is trying to implant a very powerful suggestion. The DC is 25.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't think
At least it's not dumb.
Is finishing your meal.
I will start to cut a piece up and begin to eat it.
Okay, it tastes like a peculiar pork. It's got a bit of an applesauce to it, and there's some spices on it, but it's definitely a medium rare to rare pork.
Through bites of food, I'll say to Thurgus, I don't remember picking up art in Racker's Alley. I do remember killing a great deal of vampires, though.
At this point, the Grimlock chef, basically Baron Ramoska, as you're talking about vampires, basically
Give the rest to the dogs. They will enjoy it. Or shall I say, they will enjoy her.
A peculiar blend here. A bit more rare than my tastes.
okay. The smell of meat is strong. It's been cooking for a while in the kitchen area. I don't know if Thurgus, if you're following the Grimlock chef.
No, I'm more concerned that the professor's about to get eaten by a vampire.
Okay.
Pixel, though, snuck in and is hanging out in the dumbwaiter.
Okay,
I'd like to
give me
can
a perception check for Pixel.
Can I, through my empathic link, convey some sense of fear to Christopher?
More than has
Yes.
already probably just been
Yes.
going on.
Okay.
Christopher's hopping up and down.
I want him to kick Fareosae.
16 from Pixel.
Okay, Pixel, yeah, she can't quite see what's going on in here. Henry, you almost jump out of your chair as there is a ghostly apparition that comes at you from the side, and is starting to nag at you in a very familiar way.
No, God. I hate my wife. Is that the her? Is that the her of what we're eating?
I cannot believe that you ate me, she says.
Girls, you didn't tell me your mother was here. Really? No, I didn't hear you come in. Oh, I should have gotten
Have you no willpower? Seriously, Henry?
willpower? What do you mean? I've just joined these fine gentlemen for dinner.
Applesauce. To be carved up and served with applesauce.
Carved up? What are you implying, madam?
It's bad enough that you have led my daughters down this horrible path of exploring hidden knowledge, that you sit here at this very table and eat me with applesauce.
Now, see here, I won't hear you deride the pursuits of knowledge so callously. There's no way to greet your husband, estranged though he may be. What is this carved-up business you're all about?
She kind of flickers and disappears.
Did I hear her side of the conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
You saw this well-dressed older lady.
Girls,
If the bear is getting anxious,
Yep.
I'm willing to follow the bear downstairs.
Okay.
And I'll keep playing, but I'll get progressively softer as we go down.
Esther has made her way to the base of the stairs and is looking up, and you can see the stairs starting to like freeze a little
Also,
bit
I'm
as
going
she's
to
going
cast
upstairs.
Glibness on myself.
Okay.
Who dares mock me? Rap, rap, rap.
She's wrapping her little cane on the side of the banister of the stairs as she's flying up.
I have an answer to that.
Zephyrus, are you sticking in the conservatory, or are you joining Fareosae outside?
I think the bear is coming to.
Yep.
Zephyrus is gonna follow along.
All right. Simultaneous to this, there are two creatures. They look like the same race of the chef, have come in from outside, and as the chef is bringing some meat across the way, there are growls of helicopters,
Growls of helicopters.
growls of wolves across the in the hunter's den.
Beautiful.
It is so nice to have family, and your family is so blessed, Professor.
yes, truly. Where did Liliana go, though? I don't recall her being able to dimension hop with that type of alacrity.
No. She seemed to have manifested herself. It is perhaps your grandfather's greatest gift, constructing this wonderful manor. I am sure that I will put it to good use.
Yes, yes, I'm sure you will. Girls, your mother, she's a bit distressed.
Yes, distressed. You You're definitely your grandfather's grandson. You seem to be taking this well in stride.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm known for rolling with the punches, as they say.
Yes, sin, it fits you well.